Welcome everyone. Mr. Upper here, right at our welcome sign here at Westwood Community High School. We're going to do our second Instagram live today. We did one yesterday. We did a Facebook live last night. We're trying to make sure students get registered for their courses for next year, select all their options, everything like that. So really looking forward to connecting with some people, answering any questions that you might have. We're also going to go through our school website, has course descriptions and all that on there. So we'll get going. I'm going to head over to the pit. Miss Tulk and Miss Shelley are there waiting for us, and we'll go from there, all right? Yeah, I see you, Parth. All right, you guys can see we got Miss Shelley, Mrs. Tulk here, ready to answer questions, walk us through all. Want to say hi, guys?
Hi guys, I'm Miss Shelley, for those of you who may not have met me yet, and this is Mrs. Tulk. She's our grade 12 counselor.
Hi guys, how you doing? Grade 12 and 9 counselor.
Yes. And all things wonderful. She actually just won an award this week, so I wanted to share that with everybody.
Oh, well, thank you.
She got the Fort McMurray Public School District Doing What's Best for Kids Award because she's so wonderful and she does so much to help our students through day-to-day stuff, graduation stuff, university stuff, anything. She's amazing. So congratulations,
Thank
Mrs.
you very
Tulk.
much.
So today, the purpose of today is to help answer any questions that you might have about registration or course selection or the school in general. We know that we haven't had the opportunity, unfortunately, to welcome our grade 6 to grade 7 or any new students that might be coming to Westwood. So we wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a tour at the same time as answer your questions and highlight some of the course selection programs that we're offering here. So the first thing I actually want to kind of highlight, as for me, it's one of the best things of this school, is the trees behind us. And I'll speak a little louder so you can hear me. This is the heart of our school. The trees were planted in 1986 when the school was built, and they are real. We know they're real because we pick up leaves every now and again. But it is one of the best features. It helps give a little bit of life to the pit. And up in the ceiling, we actually have lots of open windows. Not open as in, we can't open them, but there's lots of light that comes through them. And that's actually a very wonderful feature, especially in the winter time, because we come to school in the dark and we go home in the dark, and it helps us to get a little bit of vitamin D throughout the day, and it's a wonderful place for students to come and gather. And just behind me here is something that we call the pit, and it's the heart of the school, so to speak. It's the central part of the school. From here, all directions happen. So we have the art room, the theater area, we have the cafeteria right in front of you there. To the right, we have the main street. And we don't call our hallways, we call them streets on this floor. So this is the gym street, or the main street. And we have the library here. And then we'll scroll around so that you can see the ramp that takes you to upstairs. And we have some lockers on the right-hand side. So this is where our graduates come to get pictures throughout the year, where they have their theme days, and we have pie throwing contests on Pie Day in March, or this is where you'll find us often during lunchtime. Supervision, interacting with kids. And you know what, guys, for those of you that are on from our grade 12 class, or from any grade for that matter, we really miss you, unbelievably. And so we can't wait for life to get back to normal just like you. Okay, is there any questions yet, Mr. Upper?
We got no questions. We got some people talking about how much they loved Westwood. I see Miss Pollyanna has joined. Hi, Pollyanna. Yeah, no questions so far. Lots of people watching. Got about 20 right now, so I think we should move on into the library. In the library, Miss Shelley and Miss Tulk are gonna kind of walk us through the website, what course selection looks like and all that. So we'll head into the library.
Sure, I'm just catching a little bit of those sun rays as we go in. Okay. So in here is where you're gonna find a lot of our students at lunchtime. They come in and they sit down and they interact, and they perhaps are on our Mac computers over here, or they're sitting and reading in a corner on the couch, or they're interacting with friends at the tables, or whatever the case may be. This is actually a pretty happening place for a library.
Yes, it is.
Mrs. Tulk, we got a question for you.
Yes.
Cody is asking, were all the Diligence Awards sent out?
Yes, they were, but if you have a question about it, email me and I will double check, but I did send notices to students today.
So the Diligence Award will continue to happen this year. For any of you that had questions about whether it would, right now we're collecting some other pieces of information so that we can put together your awards to get sent to you. So your social insurance number is one of those things that we do need to have. And we don't want you to share it through email and such. We would rather do it over the phone so that there's more security in that, and we will dispose of the numbers after. We will make sure they're shredded, so don't worry about identity theft and that kind of thing. So basically, this is our website, and you all have the ability to go there and look at it. But for right now, what we're going to do is I'll get Mrs. Tulk to tag team with me, and we'll start to go through some of these things. This is the general overall website. What I want to point out for you is that there's a button over here called Register Now. If you go to that link, it'll take you to the Fort McMurray Public School District so that you can register for the school year, if you're new to the district, or if you're a current student. I do want to point out one thing. There's two different parts of the registration process. The first part is actually doing the registration paperwork. So that is where you fill out your name, your address, your birth date, any medical needs that you might need or might have, all of that kind of demographic information. Your parents fill that out. But the second part is called course selection. And course selection is what opened up yesterday. You need to have a Powerschool account to access both of them, but there are two pieces of it. So the course selection piece is where you go in and you look on the left-hand side of your screen. It will say course selection, right? Course selection or class selection, whichever, you'll see it. And then you get to pick which courses you want to take for next year. And that will be determined by what you want to do after high school. So for example, we have a lot of students that go off to university. We have a 65% rate or higher go to post-secondary from Westwood. So you have to keep in mind, where would you like to go to university? And what kinds of programs would you like to take there? So for example, if you wanted to take engineering at the U of A, the engineering department requires, actually I'm going to get Mrs. Tulk to step in and say exactly what that requires.
Yes, sure.
And I know what it is, but.
Yes, so if you're looking at university, engineering is very specific. So you're looking at needing English 30-1, Math 30-1, Math 31, which is calculus, Chemistry 30, and Physics 30. Those are the 5 qualifying courses that they're going to be looking at for engineering. So universities all ask for 5 or 6 qualifying grade 12 courses. Some of them are a little bit more general, some are very specific like engineering. If you're going into arts or sciences, you've got a little bit more flexibility in your courses that you want to choose. But if you do have questions, make sure you contact me if you're not sure. I can help you out with figuring out what classes you actually need.
And that can be a very overwhelming process for someone who's new to it. So the reason we bring that up right now is in order for you to plan for after high school, you need to plan for when you start to earn credits. And that happens starting in grade 10, okay? So if you're someone going from grade 9 to grade 10 this year, that's gonna be a new change for you. And you're going to select your cores, okay? So you're going to take English, social studies, science, and math. Whether you take a -1 stream or a -2 stream, that will be determined based on your ability, that will be determined based on your interest, based on your future path for careers, right? So that's why we bring that up now. So have a look around. If you're not sure and you want to keep all of your options open, that means that you'll probably want to try and go in the -1 stream, which is what we consider the academic stream, okay?
Before we get going on the website, we've got a couple questions. I'm going to throw the first one at Mrs. Tulk. Jennifer's asking, what is the Diligence Award? So we've talked a little bit about it. What is it?
Okay, so the Diligence Award is for students who have earned more than 135 credits by the end of their high school. So there is an award that students get, and it's just based on the number of credits that you earn.
And I can jump in and add a little bit more here. It's specifically for students of Fort McMurray Public School District. If they complete their education in grade 10, 11, and 12 within 3 years, so if you're coming back for another year in 4 years, you wouldn't qualify for it. It's to reward those students who are very diligent in their studies, and it's exactly what it means. It's very self-explanatory. So at graduation, at the graduation ceremony, graduates are given a special cord. It goes wrapped around their stole at graduation in their gown, and they're honored that way in front of everybody. And up until, well, including this year, it does come with a cash award as well. I don't believe that will be continuing. However, the award will. The cash award may not be, but that's to be determined. But it certainly is something that can really help students when they're going on into the world beyond high school, whether it's college or work or whatever. And so it's a reward for them for being diligent.
Next question, Ms. Shelley, we'll stick with you. Devin's asking if they're going to be graded for their online assignments currently.
So this is a question about assessment, and it's going to take me a moment, so listen carefully as we go through. I know there's been a whole lot of mixed messages sent out there about what assessment might look like, so let me help clarify it for you. The Minister of Education first came out and said that students will continue, but what I need you to understand is that means that you still have to keep up with your work. You still have to contribute. And so the assessment piece, while we were trying to figure out what that would look like, we had sent out learning activities. And so your teachers were giving you formative feedback. Formative feedback comes as feedback to help coach you through how to improve. There aren't marks assigned for it. But just this week, we came out with the new assessment plan that says, moving forward, we will accept your work for marks. And so you will have the opportunity to improve your grade. Your grade will not go down, okay? But I want everybody to understand that you still have to contribute, you still have to be on track to graduate or to pass your courses. So I hope that helps to answer your question, and things will be graded moving forward.
Next question from Hafsa. If we haven't been able to gain our 75 volunteer hours this year, do we have to start over next year, or can we add to the hours that we already have?
So work experience hours are accumulated in an academic year only. So if you have been doing some work experience and you haven't quite met the 75 hours, actually give us a call, and maybe there's some ways that we might be able to help you figure that part out. It depends on where you're at in terms of the time frame. If you've only completed 20 hours, they won't be able to continue over. But if there's some other things that we might be able to help you with, that might be possible. But no, they don't carry over, unfortunately.
Okay, Hafsa, so reach out to Mrs. Tulk or Mrs. Shelley, and they can help answer your question further, Hafsa. All right, that's all we got for now. Do we
Okay.
want to move on and talk a little bit more about the website?
Absolutely. So we're going to go next to this page, and this is brand new to our website this year. And I'm just going to get out of the way so you can actually see it here. I'm not expecting you to follow me as we go through to know which links are where. I'm just highlighting for you some of the features that we have. So in order to register, you can click this button. There's several buttons you can find throughout the website, but in this kind of one-stop shop, you can find the registration paperwork, and you can go to create a Powerschool account here. This is one of our photos from Spirit Day last year. That was so much fun. Sorry, I don't have a mouse here. And included on this webpage is some videos to help you with trying to pick your courses. This is one that I helped to put together for students in grade 10, 11, and 12, and it actually is about 25 to 30 minutes, and it explains the streaming, it explains what the courses are, and it will help you. You can go through step by step. This is one that Mrs. Book put together for junior high on how to pick your courses, and
I'm just going to jump in here as well, because these are super helpful. They tell you exactly what streams you can go into. They'll tell you how many option classes to pick, all of those things. So I know, especially for the high school one, it looks like, oh, it's a little bit long, but it really is helpful in helping you to determine what are the best courses for you. So it's worth your while to take some time and look at that before you choose your classes.
so here's an example, just below the videos of the actual slideshows. So you can skip through, and if you don't want to listen to my voice, that's quite fine. You can do it without. And this will give you an indication. So this is an example of how the English streaming works. In grade 9, depending on what your mark was and what your interest lay for when you go off to past high school, you could choose to take English 10-2, English 10-1, or English 10 pre-AP. And actually this might be a good time to talk about AP as we move on. We're very proud of our AP program here at Westwood, and so I'll give you a little overview. And Mrs. Tulk is actually the person who's our lead in terms of AP here at the school, so she's going to help me and jump in here whenever I've left a few pieces out. But Advanced placement is an actual international affiliation. So it's not specific to our city, it's not specific to our province, but it is an international program. And what happens is at the end of your grade 12 year, in May of your grade 12 year, you write this exam. In fact, our kids are writing it right now.
Right now, yes.
We have one more to go next week. And they're writing it at home, which is unusual, but they're still making it available for them to take those exams. Because if you score out of 5, if you score a 4 or a 5 out of 5, you then have the opportunity to replace your first year entry course in university. So if you're taking AP English, you perhaps would be able to not have to take first year English at university. There is a connection here on the website that you can go to see which universities subscribe to the AP program, and most of the Canadian ones
Yes,
do,
they
most
do.
of the American ones do, but I will always say to you, if you have a specific school or program in mind, always check with that institution, and then we plan forward from there. So that's what happens in grade 12. So we actually have started a program to help you prepare for that grade 12 exam starting in grade 7. So from grade 7 through 9, we have something called the Pathway to AP. And so that is a program where you're learning actual real Alberta curriculum, just like all of the other grades. And what happens is you learn about pacing yourself, and you learn about study habits, and you learn it at a little bit more of a faster pace with like-minded people. You learn about things that you're passionate about and things that you might want to take a little bit further. Because what I do know as an educator of 20 years is that students do much better in stuff that they hold a passion for. And that's why we encourage you to find those passions and become that in your life. And so we encourage students to think about that in the junior high, and then starting in grade 10, you transition to something called the pre-AP program. And so you would take whatever courses you would like in grade 10 in the core areas that would lead you to the grade 12 AP exam. In junior high, we do ask that if you are wanting to enter that program, that you take all 4 cores. It's all 4 cores. You can't take 2 cores and 2 cores not. But once you hit grade 10, when credits start happening, you do have the choice to take only English or only science or math and science or whatever the case may be. The thing about how we've designed the program is that we actually don't encourage you to take all cores once credits hit, okay? So we want you to really explore in the junior high area what kinds of programs you think that you could continue to do, explore your passion in, and then make that choice in grade 10. So you could take math and science grade 10 AP, but perhaps not social studies and English. It's up to you. And then continue on. If you wanted to take AP in grade 10 and then grade 11 you decide, no, I don't want to take math and AP, but I do want to take sciences, you could do that. And we don't encourage you to take all 4 areas, okay? Please let us be very clear about that.
Yes, and we can be very flexible about the courses that you want to take once you're in high school.
So one of the things that I will say to you in this stream, it doesn't show a movement from pre-AP down to regular -1, but it is possible. It absolutely is, okay? So in here, it will go through each of the core courses and tell you what pattern that you can flow in. That's what the purpose of these arrows are. And after that, it goes through the explanation of what an Alberta high school diploma requires. And maybe you can take a moment to explain that, Mrs. Tull.
Sure. So when you're looking at your high school diploma, it includes grade 10, 11, and 12. And there are some very specific requirements that you have to meet. So first of all, you have to get a minimum of 100 credits. Within those 100 credits, you have to earn credit in English in the grade 10, 11, and 12 level. So that's the 10, 20, 30. The social studies, you have to get social 10, 20, and 30 as well. Math and science, you have to get up to a 20 level. COM is a required course, that's career and life management. It's kind of like health for high school. You also have to have Phys Ed 10, which is a mandatory course. You have to have another 10 credits of options at any level, and then you have to have another 10 credits of grade 12 level courses. This is not including English and social studies, but it could include core subjects, it could include options, it could include your Phys Ed, work experience, special projects, all of those things fall under those as long as they are a 30 level. So that makes up about 55 credits, and then the other 45 credits that you're going to earn are actually your choice. So if you're doing multiple science courses, 30-level science courses for university, all of those things will add in to get to your minimum of 100. So those are the things that are required for your high school diploma.
Thank you. And we're not going to go through the whole thing. We just wanted to highlight a few things for you. And so the rest of the slideshow is available for you to take a look at if you'd like to get some more information. These are some examples of what universities would require, and you can go ahead and take a look at that after. Also what apprenticeships and college requirements would look like. Okay? So this is what the parent sign-in or the student sign-in would look like for Powerschool if you haven't done that before. And if at any point you have any questions, pardon me, I don't mean to have my back to you, you can call the school at any time, 780-791-1986. Mrs. Lorenz would be happy to direct your call to myself or Mrs. Tulk or whomever might be able to answer your questions. So I'll just scroll down here a little bit more. It's hard to see. Going the wrong way. So the same is true for the junior high slides. That information is there, and then below is our registration guide, and so it gives a little bit more detail about things, and you can have a closer look there. Okay, you can link through here.
And some really great descriptions of options for junior and senior high can be found there.
So we'll go to that option page right now. Okay. So at Westwood, we have several new options available this year, which we're excited to let you know, especially for junior high. We have aquarium and fish keeping. We have art, which is a huge, very popular one here. Band, basketball. We actually have some wellness options that you're going to take in junior high. So maybe I can take this moment to explain the junior high piece. When you're registering for grades 7, 8, and 9, you're going to select either the AP program or the regular stream program. And that means that you're going to have English, or LA it's called at that level, science, math, social studies, phys ed, and then there's going to be 5 different wellness options that you could also take, and they're elective options basically. And they are soccer, basketball, volleyball, yoga, and
Sports performance.
Sports performance, thank you very much. So we've extended those for you because you're going to be having phys ed in a semester type of system. And in the first half of the year, perhaps it could be the first or the second half, you would have phys ed, and then in the other half of the year you would have your health and leadership option. So then you would pick 4 additional options. You could include those wellness options, but you could also extend it to band or to art, or even sign language is a new one this year. I'll just show you, and within each one of these there is a description. So Botanical Science is also another new option. So it explains what the option would be. It's a branch of biology, and it's still an option. It's not a core class, but it gives you a whole different slant on the types of things that you can learn and find your passions in. Because biology is not just about anatomy, it's also about the environment. I'll just go back and maybe show you another 1 or 2, at least show you what this looks like overall. We have debate, construction, digital art, digital design, digital marketing. You see a theme. We have lots of computer science options for our junior highs. And of course, they're led by the one and only Mr. Saeed. Mr. Saeed is renowned, and he's very, very loved and appreciated. And he's actually won a Prime Minister's Award, and he knows everything computer science. Between him and Mr. Landry, they've been able to give you multiple types of options with computer apps, or with digital design, or with
3D printing,
robotics, coding. The list goes on. I think there's about 12 different kinds of computer science elements that they bring in. And they give you an introduction to that in junior high, and then you can go on and take more specific things in senior high. There is an AP program for computer science as well. Yeah, so we're very proud of that part of your option availability. Sorry, I don't mean to keep. So we also have interior design, guitar. If you take a look at this photo, this is Mr. Terry and his class often is in the pit, in that area that we first showed you. It adds to a wonderful environment here at the school. Is there a question?
Yeah, we got a question. I'll throw this one at Miss Talk.
Okay.
So Kadra's asking if she hasn't submitted her volunteer hours, can she submit them now?
Ask her to give us a call.
Yes.
Okay, hear
Yes.
that, Kadra? Give Mrs. Talk a call here at the school and she can walk you through it all, okay?
And if you have, here's a better video that kind of gives you an overview of what some of these options might look like. It's a video that we had created to show you. So you might actually see yourself in there if you're a student that's watching. So, what else? We've talked about the advanced placements. So this gives you a different visual a little bit. You start in grade 7, 8, or 9 in pathway to AP. Then you can continue on in grades 10, 11, and 12 to pre-AP. And the real AP portion happens when you've gone through that process and you take the test at the end of grade 12. And you can certainly jump in at any time. You can't necessarily do it as easily in grade 12, but there is ways that you can kind of enter.
Yes.
You don't have to take it in junior high to continue with it. If you're interested, call us and we can help guide you individually through that. I think I wanted to highlight another thing here. This is what the schedule is going to look like for next year for junior high. So the block times will be 76 minutes. There are 4 blocks in the day, and we run our day or our school year on a 2-day rotation. And on day 1, you would go to block 1, block 2, and the breaks are highlighted here as well. So there's a 10-minute break between block 1 and 2 in the morning. And then there's a 6-minute break before all students in junior high will go to something called the literacy block. And that will happen on both day 1 and day 2. And in there will be an opportunity for you to have some more enhancement with your literacy development. And every student will continue on from their block 2 with a break in between. Then you're going to have a 42-minute lunch, so it's a little longer than it was last year. And you go back to class at 12:10 to block 3. That one is 1 minute less. It has to do with our instructional hours. And then you'll have a 9-minute break before block 4. So we start school at 8:10 in the morning, and we end at 2:49 in the afternoon. And I'll just highlight for you what the senior schedule will look like. It's changed ever so slightly. Because of days in the schedule, basically. So there's going to be 80-minute blocks, still starting at 8:10 and ending at 2:49. Tutorial is still a 30-minute block, but you have a few extra minutes for lunch next year. So there's 35 minutes instead of the regular 30. And then you have some breaks in between blocks, the morning blocks and the afternoon blocks as well. So I just wanted to highlight that for you. Is there anything on the website that you think I should highlight here, guys, that I've forgotten?
Miss Books just pointing out, she said on that website too, Miss Mort's created a really great school tour video.
Yes.
So especially our new grade 7s, make sure you check it out. It's a really fun video. She did a great job on that.
She
So
did an
big shout out to
amazing
Mrs.
job.
Mort on that.
Yes, thank you very much. Hi, Mrs. Book. So I think that's all we're going to highlight basically on the website for you right now. So what we can do, if there's no other questions.
Got no other questions? Ashley saying big shout out to the band. Don't forget about band. We love the band. We love Miss Torgerson. So yeah, good job, Ashley.
I bet there's a lot of Westwood students on here right now.
We got lots of Westwood students checking it out. So
I saw Calder. Hi, Calder. Okay, let's take a walk out to the pit and take a little look around in case there's anybody new, and we can show what the cafeteria looks like and the locker areas. You want to talk about sports for a minute, Mr. Upper?
yeah, sure. So something else to keep in mind, along with our wellness options that we have in junior high, we have a variety of options in the senior high too. We have sports performance. We have different things like that you can take at the senior high level, as well as phys ed 20 and 30. We have a great athletics program here. As you can see here on the wall, we got a number of pictures, some of the championships that we've won over the last couple of years, including down here, you can see our first ever junior high banner. our junior high banner for Tier 1 girls basketball. So they did a great job this year. We were super proud of them. If we have any of the girls online, you'll be happy to know we have used this time without students in the school to get all the banners up and hanging. Including this one here. I know Calder, we saw you on earlier. Hope you're still there. But basically, we got the provincial gold championship curling team. That was a combination team between Westwood and Nicole McTavish. And they did a great job. They won not only the provincial gold, but they also won the sportsmanship award, which is kind of unheard of if you have been involved in ASAA sports. So we'll just pop our head into the gym here real quick. They're turning on the lights for us. Take a look. You can see we got the new banners up. We'll zoom in there in case Calder's still online. We'll zoom in over here in case we got any of our junior high girls team. You can see the gray one there. The black ones are the high school. Big shout out. There's Mr. Hannaberry, Mr. Walters. Give us a wave, guys. No, can't hear us? Hannaberry, Walters, wave. There it is.
He's got pants on, as opposed to shorts. So look at the sun coming in here. That is such a beautiful part of this building.
Hi, Nafemi.
Oh, she's back today.
Yeah, she's back.
Hi, Femi.
Okay,
Question?
Jennifer's got a question. I'll answer this one for you, Jennifer. So you're asking where the classrooms are. So basically, it's the easiest to understand with the layout that we're at right now here, kind of in the center of the school. Up over in this direction over here, we have House B. Over here above in the second floor up here, you're going to see House A, and down this way you'll see a staircase up as well as a staircase by the main doors. Below House B, we have House C. So that's where our foods classroom is, our robotics classroom, a computer lab, wood shop, all that. So in House B, you're going to find most of the social studies and language arts. House A, you're going to find the math and sciences. For grade 7s, through the cafeteria back here, we have our portables, and most of the grade 7 classes, especially their core classes, are going to be found down there in the portables, as well as the lockers for grade 7. So actually, why don't we walk over towards the cafeteria, take a peek in there.
So on the way, maybe you can take a little peek inside of our sports performance area, at least one part of it. This is where students will come to work out and do some training, learning how to use the equipment, take care of it, and all that kind of stuff. There's some weights, there's some workout, other machinery basically in the other area of it. And the other entrance is near the cafeteria. So this might be new for anyone who's coming here for grade 7. Thanks, miss. There was a question that was asked yesterday about, do we have hot lunches? Well, we have our actual own cafeteria service provider. So they will actually provide daily hot lunches. There's usually soups and sandwiches and some feature. Could be butter chicken, it could be hamburgers, it doesn't, whatever. They have a daily feature kind of deal. And this is where you would have your lunch. Most of the junior highs come in here basically, hey, for the lunchtime. You're not confined to here. There's also a lot of junior highs that sit in the pit area. You could choose to go outside on the picnic tables. And through those doors is our junior high grade 7 wing, basically. And we're getting a lot of questions about what that will look like in terms of like dividing up the grades throughout the school. Because they do share a lunchtime, we tried in the very first year when we had a transition, when we included grade 7s first, that they had a different lunchtime than our senior high, and we felt like it wasn't really promoting our school culture very well, and so they weren't able to mix. And so last year we changed, and it worked quite well. Gave opportunities for senior students to mentor junior high students, gave opportunities for them to meet together as a student council or for book club or for various things like that, and it was very positive. So down in this hallway is where all of the grade 7 lockers are, and that's where the grade 7 classes are for the most part. We're not going to take a walk down there right now simply because the custodians have things all put together and we don't want to interrupt their work, but that's where the grade 7s for the most part have their core classes. They will move to their foods room or to the shop or to the gym or some of their option type classes.
Okay, we got another question. Ashley's asking, will tutorials still be happening for grade 10s? If so, is it still going to be optional unless otherwise stated by the teacher?
So there will continue to be tutorial next year. It will depend on how things are happening next year. Right now, what we have done for the past couple of years is that the first month of tutorial was mandatory, and then moving after that, it's optional depending on your needs. That part has still yet to be determined. You will have tutorial for sure, whether it's optional for the whole year or just after the first month. We haven't yet determined that, so we'll let you know. Don't worry.
Miss, do you want to take this opportunity? I know we had some questions yesterday about what school might look like in September. Do you want to just touch real quickly on an update as a result of the COVID situation?
So we are in a very unfortunate situation, obviously, and I know that it's been challenging to do learning from home, and our hearts are with you guys because we do know that it's a big transition, and it was a rapid transition. We didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare. But I do want to give a big shout out to you for sticking in there because it is a hard transition, but you will get through it and we will be there to support you every step of the way. What it means for us for summer school or for the fall, we're still unsure. There should be an announcement coming out very shortly, either tomorrow or later today, maybe even Monday, about whether, like, how summer school is going to come out, whether it is, whether it isn't, what it will look like, etc. Because I know that was a big question people were asking. So keep watch on our social media and web pages for that information. And the second piece of that is we're not really sure what August is going to look like yet. The Minister of Education came out and announced that there could be 3 possibilities. One possibility would be that it would come back as per normal. A second possibility could be that we continue with learning from home. Or a third possibility would be some sort of blend, okay? So that would mean, I'm not even sure what that would mean at this point. It could be something where there is some PPE that you might have to wear or some social distancing measures being implemented here in school. What I do want you to know is that we're working on a plan, and we're working on a plan for all 3 scenarios because that announcement comes actually from the ministry, not even from our district office. It comes from the government, and then we respond to help our students through that process and do the best that we can for you. So I don't have a definite answer in terms of what August will be like, but we'll be here to support you whatever that will be, okay?
Also, while we're here, just going to take a quick look over here in case we got some prospective grade 7s on here. What you're going to see here just outside of the cafeteria by the pit area is the Busy Bean Cafe. Busy Bean Cafe is a spot where you can get a hot drink or a bottled water, bunch of baked goods, granola bars, Cliff bars, oatmeal, stuff like that, some fresh fruit. It's a student-run little cafe. Students are actually able to, in high school, earn work credits by working in there. It's also a really good opportunity to catch up on some homework because during the actual class time, there's not too many customers. So Busy Bean Cafe is a really fun spot. Kids love it. Big shout out to Miss Roy, former principal, who still does a bunch of baked goods for us. Everybody loves the banana bread. Nefemi, you're still on. I know you're going to make a comment about the banana bread. Isabella's on now, and she's so excited. Miss Tolk is here this time.
Hi, Isabella. How are you doing?
All right, so is summer school still happening? So in case you weren't here for that, Miss Shelley said, just so you guys know, summer school, they are going to be making an announcement on what's going to happen with summer school, if it's going to happen and what it's going to look like. Hopefully, if not today, sometime tomorrow or early next week. So keep an eye on our social media accounts to check that out.
Yeah, information is coming about that. We're getting a lot of questions about that, but it's still early in May, and what happens for any kind of registration, if it does move forward, that would be something that would happen every other year. It would happen somewhere in mid-June or so. So there's still lots of time. So don't worry about that. Yeah, watch our social media. Of course, I'm going to ask you to do that anyway because that's where we get out the most up-to-date information through Instagram, obviously, through Facebook, and through our website. So.
Isabella, to answer your question, just reach out to Mrs. Tolk and she can set you up with Katie's email so you can touch base with her. Just send a quick email to Mrs. Tolk and she wants you to know that she got your email today, Mrs. Tolk.
Okay,
so
good.
just reply to that and Mrs. Tolk can set you up with Katie's email so you can touch base with her, Isabella. Any other questions, guys? Maybe we can start walking over to the robotics room.
Yeah.
Check that out. There's some work been done in there. And if you have a question, get it in there now. We're live for about another 20 minutes or so, guys. So I'm willing to answer any questions that anyone might have regarding what school's going to look like next year, registering for course selection, all that type of stuff. So
what we're going to do now is we're going to walk over to the newly transformed Robotics Classroom. Mr. Landry has been working really hard to make sure that there's a whole new face to that area for when you return. And I can't wait to show it to you. It's very exciting. Then we're going to take a little walk up to the landing, and we're going to highlight for you one of our greatest extracurricular activities that Mr. Dulku runs for the Green Initiative. So just give me a second, I'll unlock this door here. So this is the hallway to House C. If you take a little glance down, there's some more full-size lockers there. We have a computer lab, the foods room, industrial arts lab, and our aesthetics and fashion room. So come on in. Here. Look at the fabulous work that Mr. Landry has done. He has set up some stations so that groups can come together or individuals can come and look at their individual robots. Their tools and materials are underneath. It's very well organized. There's even some awards highlighted, and there's some on every bench actually. So there's quite a bit of success that happens in this room and camaraderie. And the kids get very excited to participate in the VEX robotics tournaments. And if you take a look closer over here, those cubes are the objects that are picked up, and this big box here is the field that they practice on and compete with based on whatever that competition is for that year. And I'll just also highlight for you another great feature that we have here at Westwood. This is one of our 3D printers. We were fortunate enough to receive some support through the Best Buy grant to get some 3D printers for our school and our students to create models of things. And I've seen things as detailed as house plans and facial features and all kinds of things that people can do here. It's amazing. We have 5 of them. And this is also another feature that I'd like to highlight. Through our digital design class, students can make their own t-shirts. And Mr. Landry is constantly making clothes for Westwood Gear because we have Westwood Wednesdays, and we support everybody wearing the Westwood colors on Wednesdays. There was a question that came up before about whether we had a school dress code. I would say this is a dress code on Wednesdays.
On Wednesdays.
On
sure.
Wednesdays.
Yes.
So,
Isabella's asking, she knows she's not going to the school next year. Okay. But do you know if there's been a musical chosen for next year?
Mrs. Moore is still working on it, so no, there hasn't been one at this point, but she has a couple that she's narrowed down that she's just deciding on.
So you have to follow us on social media. Keep watching for some more Instagram lives, Isabella, and maybe you'll get your answer that way.
And all of you robotics students that were there this year, look at this room, because this is amazing in here. And I saw it, the last day of classes. It was nothing like this. So
Mr. Landry has
shout
done
out to Mr. Landry for sure.
And that means you robotics kids, you got to keep it like this all year next year. Can we get a Mr. Walters feature? Oh, I don't know if we can afford a feature on Mr. Walters. We'll work on it. We'll see if we can get that in the works for you sometime before the end of June. But he's a pretty expensive superstar to book for Instagram Lives.
He made an appearance yesterday, a cameo. Yeah. So we'll just go upstairs here. I'll get you to go up first. Yeah. So this is how you would get upstairs, or you could take the ramp, as some students do from time to time, to get to their upstairs classes. And we'll get you to take a look at this bulletin board right here on the left. This features our Green Initiative. Mr. Dolko has worked with students to do some pretty incredible things, and they've won grants, thousands of dollars, $20,000 grant last year. They have done all kinds of things with STEM camps for kids, and they've purchased technology to help with more initiatives to help promote learning about environmental projects and environmental understandings. It's pretty amazing. Last year, our extracurricular group was so big they had to expand to include a junior high, and then we actually added a new junior high option because it was so popular, and not only one class, we had to add 2. So the kind of work that happens in this extracurricular activity is pretty amazing. So shout out to Mr. Dalku, and shout out to all the kids in Green Initiative.
Up here on the landing, you get a nice little view of the street. You'll see we've actually had some construction work done just out front here. The walkway up to the school has been replaced, so big shout out to the operations and maintenance department here at FMPSD using this time to get upgraded a little bit.
So there's some seating here. Students hang out here during their breaks, during lunchtime, sometimes after school and before school as well. Maybe we'll take a walk down the ramp and take a look at the view from...
Isabella would like to know if she made cookies, could she come drop them off one day, or does that break social distancing rules?
You can bring us cookies, Isabella, but you have to make sure to...
Just make sure you stay 6 feet apart.
And you could just have to come into the front entrance there, but you'd have to leave again very quickly. So that would be very sweet. Thank you, dear. I don't need cookies, but I will enjoy one.
Yes.
So over here, this is Greenwood Classroom. I don't know if you can see, but there's a bunch of kites at the top, and those aren't just decorating because she likes kites. They're all related to projects that students have done, and you've got to figure out the math in order to create those things. So our walls are filled with all kinds of history. If you take a look around over here, which direction are you going, sir?
Where do you want me to go?
We'll start over at the grad.
There we go.
There's lists of all the grad class since Westwood started in 1986, all throughout the hallways, in the streets. We started Spirit Day, when? 2007. And we used to organize it according to colors, but then we just decided to rearrange it to have everybody come in their Westwood colors. And so this has been a history of all of the activity throughout the years. There's actually some murals that are here. The school is covered with murals throughout the building of student art. It's beautiful, and it's light. What I really like about this place, for the most part, in the physical part of the building, is the trees and the light that it brings. But more than that, and maybe you can pick that up from the conversations that we're having with some of the students that are here, this building is a representation of our family. It really is. And we miss you guys so very much. And we wish that we could come together for graduation like a normal, typical year, but unfortunately that can't happen this year. But what I do want you to know is that we do have some plans in place to help celebrate you anyway. We're gonna feature some things for you digitally and otherwise. And we're gonna come together and have a ceremony when it's safe to do so. So that might be a while. We don't know what it looks like, we don't know when it is, but we're certainly gonna do it. And I apologize, but my phone is ringing, so I'll just silence it. And we still want you to celebrate yourselves. We want you to celebrate with your families, and we're still going to be celebrating you as well. We're very proud of you. We will cherish all of the memories that you've shared with us, just as you will, we hope. And please do come back and visit us all the time, whenever you get the opportunity. We love to have you come back and let us know how you're doing in the world, where you end up, what happens, and you'll always be a part of our Westwood family. We're very proud of you. So.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go last call for questions. I know we said we're gonna be on for an hour, but it seems like we've kind of answered all the questions. We had a Facebook Live last night that went really well, and we had another Instagram yesterday where we didn't even have to do much of the talking. We had a bunch of our grade 12s on here promoting the school and answering questions for us. So, any other last questions before we sign off here? Miss Book saying, what kind of extra help options are there available at Westwood? That's a great question.
Thank you for bringing that up. We forgot to mention it in our tour. There's lots of extra help options. We have some resource rooms where we have EAs that help to support students in both houses. So in House A, we have a math and science EA that helps to support students before school and after school. Also on Fridays where we have PLF days. They're there and made available so students can come in to get some one-on-one help. We also have somebody in House B, an EA in House B that works in the resource room there to help support students with English and social studies. We have a math leadership group that does tutoring after schools on Wednesdays for an hour for students within the building. We have, what else, what am I forgetting, Mrs. Salk? There's tutorial. Tutorial is a huge one because that gives students an opportunity to meet up with friends to help with discussing about their work, or one-on-one conversations with their teachers, or whatever the case may be, whatever the needs are. Sometimes students go and eat lunch with the teacher, basically. So there's lots of supports.
And I know Mrs. Joseph has been trying to get some things worked out so that the senior highs can be working with the junior highs for support that way as well. So
Yes.
that's-
Tutoring.
we're hoping that will be used more next year. So
Yes, there's a lot of mentoring going on between the senior high and the junior high, and not just in regular class stuff, but also with science fair mentoring. We had a lot of our senior high students judging science fairs for junior high this year, and we'll probably continue to do that. So there's lots of different features that can be helping to support students here. So we are very excited to welcome all of the new students, and we're very excited to congratulate all of our graduates, and we're very excited to see everybody back in the fall.
And Jennifer's asking, is there a map of the school?
There is. There absolutely is. It's not available online, but we do have one here in the building. You're welcome to come pick it up, or if you want to email us, I can scan it and send it to you. It would need some explanation for you to understand it a little better, but yes, there is one available that we give to students when they come here when they're new as well.
And keep in mind, Jennifer, when we are allowed to have the kids in the school and that during registration or whenever that might be, we'll definitely have some tours going on, individual tours for our new grade 7 students and any students who are new to the school in any other grade. So they'll be able to walk around with another student, check out where their classes might be, where they might need to go, and help out anyway, right?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Mr. Upper, because this is the time of year where we normally invite our grade 6s to come for tours, and we have open houses, and we have dances, and we have all kinds of things that help to orient our students that are new to the building to us. And so we've not been able to have that opportunity this year, but our hope is to still be able to do that in August, and we will have tours, and we will have students mentoring them and walking them through and giving guided tours and advice and explaining what various different things are, little things like what we call the pit and what we call the streets, like I've outlined earlier. And usually we also have student council members, and we have all of our activity club groups and such here to help let people know that they're here and that this is how you sign up to join volleyball, or this is how you sign up for student council, or whatever the case may be. What normally happens in August is before classes start, we have students come in to pick up their schedule, which is their timetable. So they do that before classes actually begin, and then they have an opportunity to check out where their locker is and pick their locker, and then practice using the lock, as well as find where all their classes are going to be, get their textbooks and such, and that way they're ready for the first day of school. And then we do have a meet the teacher evening and that kind of thing that happens as well, so that families can get acquainted with the people that are helping their children learn. Usually we have a barbecue and such like that, so we are still planning as though everything will go as normal for the fall, but we'll see what the announcements come out with. We're going to be ready for you, whatever it will be, though. Okay? Any other questions?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
So.
It does cut us off at the time period here, so I don't want to miss any questions.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for tuning in. Grade 12s that we're on. Thanks so much. We appreciate you guys. We're sorry about the way things have gone. We look forward to reconnecting with you in the future. All the best. Any questions, don't hesitate to call the school, 780-791-1986. You can email any of us on the admin team. You can email anybody in student services or Miss Lawrence in the office. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. So take care. Have a great day. Hopefully by the time I get out of here, the snow will be gone, and we'll go from there. All right.
Miss you too, Calder. Take care.
yes, we miss you guys.
Bye.